If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Devonte Smith joining the program, and it was just reported by MMA Junkie just a couple of hours ago that he has a new opponent at UFC 241 next Saturday night. He will now take on the returning Clay Collard in Anaheim. How about that? How are you, Devonte?
I'm good. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. So the reports are out there now, and I've been able to confirm this news as well, but we might as well hear it from the man himself. Is it true that you're now fighting Clay Collard in less than 2 weeks at UFC 241?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I know you were originally supposed to fight John McDessie. That fight comes to light, and a lot of fans thought, myself included, that this is a really good matchup for you because, you know, you're the up-and-coming guy. You've been looking fantastic, finishing fights. John has been in the UFC for almost 9 years, a widely veteran of the sport, and quietly is on a 3-fight winning streak. Were you disappointed when you got the news that John was injured and knew he would be out of the fight?
Yeah, I still don't even know what happened. Like, I don't know what type of injury it was. I just got the news that he's out, and I was like, dang. And it's been about 10 to 11 days before they can find me this guy, Clay Collard. So looking up his fights, it's the same thing, different body, man.
Was he the first name that was thrown your way, or were there other names in the running that you kind of got wind of in terms of, you know, being a contender to replace John, or is Clay just the only name, the big serious contender here?
Well, from my knowledge, he was the only one.
He was the only one, okay.
Yeah, he was the only one from my knowledge.
But you were preparing for a fight no matter what. You knew it was going to be replaced. You had full confidence in the UFC they would get this done, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
All right. So Clay, as you probably have seen in your research, he has been around for a while. So in a way, you're still getting that wily veteran matchup. A guy who has been in the UFC before. He had 4 fights in the UFC. He was released after a really close split decision loss to Thiago Trader back in 2015. He's also fought Max Holloway, one of the best fighters in the world.
Right. That was so weird when I seen that. I'm like, wow, okay. All right. So he has experience. So that's cool.
So outside of, you know, getting the name and just kind of doing your research just based on the name, were you familiar with Clay at all?
No, to tell the truth, I'm not familiar with a lot of fighters. I just show up, fight, and win.
So you're not a guy who watches a ton of the sport, a big student of the game, so to speak. You're focused on training, getting better yourself, and focusing on your career and what you need to do.
Yeah, no, I don't really focus on other people. You know, I watch people. I take them as they come. You know, that's when I'll look you up. A lot of times my team used to make jokes about me because they'll ask me who's the top 10 or top 15. I'd be like, I don't know. You know, whoever they give to me. They give to me, you know, and I'm going to do what I do best, and that's shine bright.
You're a pretty dynamic guy, and you also have some of the best coaches in the world at Factory X. Mark Montoya is an absolute wizard when it comes to breaking down fighters. So while you may not be totally aware of Clay Collard, I'm sure Mark is all over this. I'm sure he knows everything about Clay at this point. Has your approach changed at all in preparation for this fight?
No. I don't really train to fight one specific person. I train to improve and get better. For times like this, you know, because if I would have just trained specifically for Madesi and we would have had a game plan for Madesi and then he pulled out, my brain would have been like, oh, shoot. So I got to hurry up and switch up a game plan. Nah, I just train to get better. And, you know, I've been working on a lot of stuff. So I'm just ready to not even showcase my skill. I'm just ready to win, you know, and move forward with my career.
Have you always been like that, or was there a certain point in your career where you realized, like, I can't just focus on one single guy, I just got to focus on myself?
No, I've always been like this. Even when I was a wrestler in high school, when they used to talk to me about the rankings and national and states, I really just didn't know or care because, you know, it really didn't matter to me. It's whoever you give me, you know, I'm going to beat.
I was talking to Chris Gutierrez the other day because he's getting ready to fight in Uruguay coming up on Saturday. Yeah. Big fight for him. Really interesting story. If you guys haven't seen that interview, it's fascinating. It's very emotional. Go back and check that out. Chris has come a long way. But he talked about you being one of his main training partners getting ready for this fight. I'm sure you've worked with Chris a little bit, but who are some of the other guys that you've been working with to get you ready for next Saturday?
Chris, my dude Yusuf, Markel, Ian, Heinich, Truthfully, I want to say my whole entire team, because it's just not one person that's helping me. It's everybody. Everybody put in they 2, 3, 4, 5 cents. And help me get ready for the fight for next week.
What's interesting about you from our first conversation, I've used you as a reference a couple of times to other fighters that I've talked to, is that you had your last fight heading into a pay-per-view main card at UFC 234, and it was on ESPN, and you said that for you, it was just another day. Like, you don't get caught up in the hoopla of anything. So,
No.
But this fight, you're sharing a card with Cormier Miocic, with Romero Costa, with Nate freaking Diaz coming back against Anthony Pettis. You got your teammate Ian Heinisch fighting in a big fight against Derek Brunson. This is a big card. Does that give you any extra motivation at all, being on this kind of a card, or again, is this just another day for you?
Funny story, I actually forgot most of those people are on the card. I am so serious. Only people I know that was on the card, like I knew those people was on the card, but we don't focus on it, was Ian and Stipe, because he's from Ohio, so, in DC, but when people were like, oh, yeah, you got Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a good fight. And then it's like in the back of my mind, I don't really care, because it's not really like doing anything for me. It's just they're fighting whoever they're fighting. I'm only focused on what I need to be focused on.
But it kind of does. It kind of helps a little bit, because not a lot of, you're not focused on the hoopla, where you're fighting, who you're fighting, and all that stuff. But a lot of extra eyes are probably going to be on this. But other than that, that's it.
That's all I care about, on me. I don't care about the eyes on them, on me. So, I'm only focused on me, my plate, and what I need to be focused on.
Where does that all come from? That just kind of relaxed nature about the fight game, and just because you don't take yourself too seriously, obviously. You're focused, you're hungry, you want to be the best martial artist in the world, obviously. But, where does this patience and this relaxed nature in the fight game come from for you?
Truthfully, I don't even know. Like I said, I was this way in high school, and people used to make fun of me because I didn't really care who the person was. Because that type of stuff can psych you out. Like, oh, he's ranked this and that. I don't care. He's just another dude. I've seen top contenders get their chin, ripped off, by somebody they were supposed to beat. So you're just a human being, and it's just another day. Like I'm more so focused on, in a sense, after the win. Like that stuff, in a sense, I focus on. And I just do me.
When you say you're focused on what happens after the win, what do you mean by that?
Enjoying the fruits of my labor.
All right.
Because I've been out here, Colorado, this time for this fight, for the Medesi fight, for like 5 months. And that's 5 months away from my family. And through those 5 months, I wasn't there for my nephew when he started walking. So I missed that special moment. Every time I come home for a week or so, usually it's just a week or 2 days, my niece, she gets taller and skinnier at the same time, so I miss those special moments with my family. So I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win, and it's really just that simple. So I more so just picture and imagine the fun times I'm going to have with my family and just relax it, because I'm going to do what I got to do and get that win and move forward.
Obviously, that's a very tough situation. I know what that's like. I've been away from my family for months at a time. It's rough. You try to get back on weekends and get back as much as you can. But I know, listening to a recent interview with Anthony Smith, he talked about when he has fight camps, he comes out, spends a lot of time there. He tries to get back on weekends, but a lot of times he's not there for his family as much as he wants to be. Do you and Anthony sort of share that kinship? Have you formed kind of an extra bond through your families and the time away? Do you look to him for advice and vice versa?
I remember I did have a talk about with Anthony about I forgot, what did we talk about? It was pretty much about money and how to what to do and stuff like that. But I don't know. I really just stay focused. I'm really to myself. I don't really talk too much about my personal life.
Right.
I really just stay focused on what I need to be focused on. Because if you're on that so much, it'll start to mess with you. And you start to focus on, dang, I ain't there with my family, rather than I'm doing this to better my life and better theirs. So we got to move forward. You got to keep pushing.
That's a great way to look at it, for no doubt about it. And I think your views on the fight game and on life are really fascinating. I think a lot of people can learn from you. In terms of next Saturday, what's going on in the cage in Anaheim, how does this all play out? You versus Clay Collard. How do you get your hand raised when you play it out in your mind?
Do what I do. I don't really like giving too many specifics because I don't want to be locked on to that one thing, because I don't want to say I'm going to come in this way because I thought he was going to come in that way, but he really come in this way and everything's get jumbled up and screwed up. So I'd rather just take it as it comes. I know I am going to win. I know I am going to become 11-1. Not underestimating him, overestimating him, not overlooking him. I'm not looking him. I'm going to treat him like a champion, like I treat anybody like a champion, and I am going to get that win.
I know you just celebrated your 26th birthday last week. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
I saw you on social media that all you asked for your birthday were for donations to your charity, the King Cage charity. How was the? Can you explain this? You're laughing? Is there an actual King Cage charity? Like, what is it all about? To you? Well, for you.
My bank account, I guess. But I know everybody's gonna say happy birthday and stuff like that. Thank you for the happy birthday, but send me $1. You get to choose between $1 and $5. If you choose to go over $5, I appreciate you. You're a real one. If not, if you just give me a happy birthday, that's cool. And what's so cool about that is last year I only got, I think I only got like $5. I think it was $1 or $5. And this year I got like 110. So it worked out. You said it cool.
I was just going to ask, did the King Cage charity raise enough for a cup of coffee at Starbucks or for like a hotel room in Anaheim for a night?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So there you go. Nicely done. So, Devonte, thank you for the time, man. I know you got to eat. You got a lot going on. You got a big fight coming up in a week. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, if they would like to donate to the King Cage charity and help you out a little bit. How could they do that?
You can follow me on Instagram at KOE_KING KAGE UFC. I got a blue check mark now, so it's me. See, what is the King Cage charity? You know what? Just donate to it next year, because I already forgot what my PayPal and my Cash App was, because that was just for that day, But I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate my fans, and everybody for supporting me through my journey. And I can't wait to get this win.
Thank you, Devonte. All the best to you heading into next weekend. Same kudos go to Ian Heinisch, who's also celebrating a birthday today, so happy birthday to him.
You see how they did me?
Wow.
My birthday?
What happened?
We was doing this 52 weeks, and I seen my professor look at me, and what they like to do, they like to jump you and hold you down in red belly? What they call it? When
the slaps on the belly? Yeah.
Yes. And Ian got me the worst, so I'm getting him today. I'm going to put baby oil on my hand. Watch what I do to him.
Do us all a favor and put that on Instagram or social media so we can have that.
I got you. Yeah.
I would love to clip that in this interview at the end of it. But thank you, Devonte. Okay. All the best to you. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you.